I know. I hardly get.
I think we can start now.
How are you? Good to see you.
I'll give you the. Hello. Oops. Good afternoon. My name is Bob Baxter. I'm one of the counselors for Martins Falls First Nations, and I'm honored to be here. And I've been asked to do the opening prayer for this session. And I'll start by saying that just looking around, there's all kinds of cultures here, and we all have that what I call that stairway to heaven. That those spiritual beliefs that we all have, in different cultures. And I always say that our prayers go to the same place, to the same Creator, and nobody's lower or higher than anybody else here, and we're all one. So with that, I'm going to say the opening prayer in my language, and the Ojibwe language, and it's just to ask the Creator to guide us this day, to help us and guide us as we move on our journey, or whatever our journeys may be, as we move forward from today. Okay, miigach kisema itu kitini kuwa kagijik. Kinanako migut sagijik, miigach chini kuwan. Kinagigong no itikaunta naman no ito apanong siya nung nikabi anong kiwet nung chigis kong umagi aking. Miigach kitini ko. Shön mika kusiwach kawan shinwach kawan entumwach kagijik. Whichman sewach kewinawa. Igwechke dikit man gewesh kaki pitchin jota keep packet na much of mat zunyuan. When you know in Trenda Gusianga Gishgak, chicken the man you keep Kinoma Gavin and keep Kinoma Givacho Yaguet. Can you know in Chunche Koyak mat is young. Wake Koyak movie toang mat is young, mat is in Nant Sagishak. Chanaga cheat young. Chijoin young, Chishagit young. Chinwab Mishiang Goyak Chitota Mangani knowing when mat is in nan. Miigwech.
Well, good morning, everybody. And how about this Northern Ontario Mining Showcase and the Great Work Mine Connect? Thanks for having us. Marla, raise your hand. We appreciate your support today. Gosh, this is my 15th PDAC. And I remember Mayor Phil Vanette, who I know a lot of you folks would remember, the mayor of Red Lake. Red Lake was situated in the Kenora riding at the time that I was the federal MP for. And he said to me, he said, Greg, it would be great as an upstart MP if you could come to PDAC. And it would be awesome if you could bring some of your colleagues. We don't see a lot of provincial and federal politicians here. PDAC at the time had an extraordinary team, as it does today. And in 4 short years, it culminated in a visit by the Prime Minister of Canada, then Stephen Harper, and subsequently other prime ministers and premiers have been here with First Nations leaders, appreciating all the work that you folks do here. It was no surprise to the municipal leaders. They had always attended that special luncheon and knew the importance of this industry, mining and mining service and supply, to their communities. And raising that awareness today is going to go to another level. Folks, we've got a blockbuster announcement to make here today. And I'm joined by some very special colleagues, Chief Achkanikskum, I'm sorry, I practiced that. So Chief Bruce and Chief Whitehead. I've got my cabinet colleagues here who will be speaking shortly. And of course, the Premier, whose leadership throughout has brought us to this place today with a clear vision of what the future in the Ring of Fire region could look like. Just very briefly, folks, over the past year and a couple of months, we have put together the building blocks, shared prosperity agreements with First Nations. We've supported and worked with First Nations, two of the leaders here today, as they completed their environmental assessments, and we entered into community partnership agreements, which set a new standard for partnerships and leadership to build out the legacy infrastructure to properly support and align with the community priorities of the First Nations and, of course, developing the Ring of Fire responsibly. So I'm not going to go too much farther with that. You can imagine that after community partnerships, something special comes along, and my colleagues have joined me here to be part of it. So Chief Bruce, I'm going to ask you if you could come up and say a few words for us.
Bonjour, miigwech na kumakanak, icho kumakanak. In Adamakte ke nene des nakas mustutem. My English name is Bruce, and my family name is Ajnipaneshkum. From Martin Falls First Nation. I've been lucky to be chief for over a decade for my community. First of all, I want to acknowledge the prayers done by our elder and counselor Bob Baxter. I also want to acknowledge the land we're on, the Mississaugas and New Credit, other nations, Haudenosaunee, Algonquin, Wendat, Huron. Land signed by treaty, Mississaugas and New Credit. Today, we come together to sign and celebrate this agreement with Ontario on behalf of Martin Falls, and I'm here today with my staff and my family. My daughter Talita is here. Some of my staff and council. I made it this far journey from the north. I also want to acknowledge our partners, Webequie First Nation, Chief Lorraine Whitehead, and her council and staff. I want to acknowledge our advisors, longtime advisors, Kazim Sadiq, and also Mike Fox for Webequie. We have come a long ways in a few short years, approximately a little over 5 or 6 years.
Just
We started
to
our
this,
journey with the
news
Martin Falls
conference.
Community Access Road, which we completed for submission recently. Submission of all documents and all work for approval to the government. We're continuing that ongoing progress with the Northern Road Link, and it's another environmental assessment worthy of collaboration with Ontario, Webequie, our partners, and hopefully Canada in the near future. We enter a new phase with our submission of MFCAR, Martin Falls Community Access Road, which includes engineering and the construction preparation and mobilization for MFCAR. Within our own project of MFCAR regarding construction, we are using the current legislation today to guide our work. But we also use our own community laws, our own community processes, and ongoing engagement and ratification with our members. This is extremely important that this continue to be community-based, community-led for First Nations. As for far too long, we've been left on the back burner, the back benches of all projects, hydro projects that have in the past have left us, our land destitute of water and no involvement, no economic gain, no infrastructure. Today, we hope to change that with this new agreement that we signed in the fall, community partnership agreement with Ontario, but also this new agreement today we're signing. These are opportunities for our First Nation members, Martin Falls First Nation, and our neighbors in our region, including Webekwe and the remote Matawa First Nations, but also the wider Matawa community. We have been there from the early stages, going on almost 12 to 15 years, talking about the Ring of Fire from the early days of the Regional Framework Agreement. There has been not much discussion on the benefits, on the pillar areas that we hope to build within our communities. At that time, all Matawa communities were involved with the Regional Framework Agreement. And, in the future, that's how it should be. Moving forward in partnership with First Nations in our region, with Ontario and Canada. That's what we hope for. That's what we wish for. And that's what we'll be striving for in the near future. Projects have started and new ones are planned. Projects like the fiber optic project, which has run the much needed cable to all Matawa remote communities, five remote communities, but also to Matawa road access communities. These projects have the ability to change our lives in these communities with technology, but also with the business opportunities it presents. The energy planning project has started for the Matawa remote communities, and we hope to get that going with our work and partnership with Ontario and Canada. These will bring immediate benefits and also be focused on the long term with the eventual goal of transmission grid to all Matawa remote First Nations. This is extremely essential planning that we have started. As you may know, recently, one of our sister Matawa communities, Nibenamik, has been in the news, suffering from poor infrastructure, diesel generation breakdowns. Also, our neighbors to the east, Kasatchewan First Nation, infrastructure breakdowns. It doesn't have to be like that. If we all cooperate, if we all acknowledge our treaties, which this land is built on. So we have to ask our treaty partners to live up to our treaty obligations. If this is done, we will ensure the quality of life for all First Nations, including the region, Ontario and Canada, benefit. We will ensure environmental safeguards are in place to the satisfaction of all. We will respect Aboriginal and treaty rights, ensure prosperity with partnership, and ensure that these things are done the right way. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak. Shimigwach.
Good morning. Wajia. I am sure all of you are anxious to see the new face. Here I am. Gonetam ganin bagusan na magma nuidanish na begaj bagid na shots ganin jabigod damogo. I want to recognize the Premier of Ontario, Chief Bruce Anshiganeshkam, Minister Redford, his colleagues, and all the guests joining us today. I especially want to acknowledge my elders, my youth, my community members who continue to guide me as well as to shape the direction that Webakwe wants to go. Today's statement on economic partnership is important because it supports training, education, capacity building that our community needs for economic opportunities for all the projects in our territory. For Webakwe, this is about self-determination. It is about ensuring that our community members are fully participating and leading any work happening on our lands, whether it be business development, construction, environmental monitoring, engineering. Webakwe must be at the center of leading and benefiting from economic growth. Our youth matter. What we do today will impact their lives and the future generations. We want to ensure that we have access to training, mentorship, and career pathways. This is one of the most important responsibilities as I have my leadership and I have as leaders. Webakwe is strengthening capacity, building readiness, and planning for responsible development in the Ring of Fire. We honor our traditions, rights, and our responsibilities to the land. I want to be clear, this government-to-government announcement today with Ontario is only the beginning of a conversation to explore commercial possibilities. I want to say that we look forward to meeting with the industry to discuss Indigenous-led environmental review. And I want to thank everybody that has contributed to this work already. And I look forward to continuing these discussions. Miwa.
Great job.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Chief, for that kind introduction. It's great to be here alongside Premier Ford, Minister Rickford, Minister Lecce, as well as Councillor Baxter, and many of our leaders here in the mining industry and sector, and people from across the world. It's been incredible to see how many people have actually joined us from different parts of the world to be here today as well. Under the leadership of Premier Ford, our government is protecting Ontario by unlocking the province's full economic potential. We're building the all-season roads to the Ring of Fire. Work by Ontario and First Nation partners to get shovels in the ground is well underway, including environmental assessments, preliminary design work for Anaconda and Painter Lake roads in the Webakwe Supply Road, the Martin Falls Community Access Road, and the Northern Road Link. Together, these 4 road segments will connect First Nations to the provincial highway network, improve access to essential goods and services, and provide reliable access to the area that is critical to the development of the Ring of Fire. These roads will cement Ontario's position as a world leader in the critical minerals supply chain, creating good-paying jobs in Northern Ontario, many of them in Indigenous communities that we are partnering with. Ontario is home to a vast supply of critical minerals the world needs right now. We're ready to build, and we're proud to partner with Indigenous communities as we get this important work done. With that, thank you very much, and I will turn it over to Minister Lecce. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Minister Sakaria, for your introduction and your leadership. I just want to echo Greg's message. Warm shout out to Mine Connects, the Ontario Mining Association, the Ontario Prospectors Association. This is an incredible day, and it's a day of momentum. Because for too long, government said it couldn't be done. And worse, they said it shouldn't be done. You know, that thinking pushed Ontario 15th in the world for mining investment, plagued by a permitting system that was too complicated. It was too slow. It was too frustrating to build anything in this province and country. We rejected that decline. Under our Premier's leadership, we tore down that fragmented, unsustainable structure and replaced it with a system that says yes to responsible resource development in partnership, yes to jobs, yes to growth. And now, because of this plan, Ontario has emerged as the second in the world for mining investment, number one in Canada. Now, when I told the Premier that, he said, why aren't we number one? So, Premier, we're going to keep working on this to become number one in the world. But for my goodness, we moved from 15 to second because we are working in partnership, moving at lightning speed. And we're doing it together in the fight for Canada. And I think that's what momentum looks like. I mean, we're making it easier and faster and better to open a mine in partnership with First Nation communities. We're doing it to support Canadian jobs and Canadian materials. Because in today's world where instability is growing by the hour, Ontario is emerging as an island of stability in a sea of turmoil. We are emerging as the world's reliable partner, and with a serious plan to cut through the red tape, to build the roads, yes, the transmission, the infrastructure, and most importantly, build up Canada's self-reliance. So we're going to take the next bold step to unlock the Ring of Fire. And we are already delivering the power to get it done. We've prioritized. Mr. Rickford and I announced the Greenstone transmission line to bring reliable electricity to the gateway of the Ring of Fire. Because no longer are energy and mining separate conversations. We are on the same mission. And our government is firing on all cylinders. This is what this man expects of us. Protect our province, secure our supply chains, claim our place, yes, as a global critical minerals leader. I think we can say this is nation building in action. So let's be clear what happens next. We're going to build. We're going to connect the infrastructure. We're going to keep leading. That's our Premier's expectation. And so the Ring of Fire is no longer a concept on a map. It's a project in motion. It means roads. It means roads. Power to the north, opportunity for an entire generation of workers, scholarship and education for the next generation of young people. And we are just getting started. So colleagues, friends from around the world, 127 nations in the House, will you welcome the man with the plan, the leader with the vision, standing up for our country at a critical time, our Premier, Doug Ford. Thank you all.
Oh, boy. Boy, that was a good introduction. And thank you, Minister Lecce. And, you know, you're bang on. We're welcoming the world to PDAC right here in Toronto, Ontario. 127 nations from around the world. And as I was telling my ministers, every single speech for the last month and a half, I've been pumping PDAC. We are the global headquarters of mining anywhere in the world, right here in Ontario. And it's great to be here. It's great to be here with Ministers Rickford, Sarkaria, Perry, Oosterhoff, Quinn, Fideli, Thompson, Holland, McCarthy, and MPPs Cazzetto and Perrin. And I just saw the greatest Consul General from the UK. Consul General, great to see you. And I can tell you, all of us are out there promoting our great partnerships and talking about incredible partnerships. I have to thank Chief Bruce and Chief Lorraine. And Councillor Baxter and Mayor LaFerriere. But I got to stress this, folks. This would not happen without the cooperation, collaboration of our great two leaders here, Chief Lorraine and Chief Bruce. And I have to make sure that we also mention all the other First Nations, especially Arrowland, and that's kind of the gateway starting off. And all the industry leaders here with us today who make Ontario's mining sector the best in the entire world. And thank you to Karen and everyone at PDAC for the invitation to be here. I see my minister, Minister Vic Fideli, that travels around the world. your Minister of Economic Development, but working hand in hand with our colleagues here, because when Vic's traveling around, he is selling Ontario, he's selling critical minerals, he's telling the world that we're open for business, he's telling the world that we've created the conditions and the environment to come and invest right here in Ontario. You know, folks, as President Trump's tariffs take aim at Ontario businesses and workers, our government has a plan to protect Ontario. We're building a province that is more competitive, more resilient, and more self-reliant, so we can stand up to President Trump's tariffs and whatever else comes our way. We're attracting new investments to create more jobs by lowering taxes and cutting red tape, saving businesses and families $12 billion each and every single year, and 1.8 million working hours. Folks, the bottom line, we have never, ever raised a tax. We're the only government over almost 8 years that have never raised a tax, and I will never, ever raise a tax, because we're strong believers that you can spend your money a lot wiser than the government. Businesses can spend the money a lot wiser than the government by investing in their people, into technology, into infrastructure, into equipment, hiring more people, and making Ontario thrive, prosper, and grow. We're breaking down internal trade barriers to build up our economy right across the country. I know quite a few premiers are coming to town today. I think the whole world's coming to town today. We're building new pipelines, rail lines, airports, and seaports, so we can find new trading partners and rely less on the old ones. And in particular, I'm talking about President Trump on that one. We're powering economic growth by building the future of nuclear energy, including the first small modular reactors in the G7 and the first large-scale nuclear facilities in decades. We're leading the world in critical minerals. We're leading the world in energy and nuclear. And folks, we're going to lead the world in every single category. And you're right, Minister, where's Minister Lecce? You're right. The first thing out of my mouth when he said we jumped from 15 to number 2, I said, who's number 1? And he said, Nevada's number 1. But here's an example of what we're up against, folks. Why I always say faster, quicker, immediate? Because our competition south of the border is trying to eat our lunch, and we have to make sure we get these permits out as quickly as possible. And do you know who helps in that? I have a friend here in the crowd. His name is Michael Fox. Michael, I saw you a minute ago. Anyways, Michael is part of Webequay, but I'm sorry, Chief, he's moving to Etobicoke, and he's going to be my neighbor down the street. And anyone from Etobicoke goes right to the top. So, Michael, you're an absolute champion. And we're doubling down on more than $223 billion to plan to build the largest plan of its kind in Canadian history, to build roads, highways, and critical infrastructure needed to connect Ontario's mineral-rich north with our manufacturing might in the south. And I'll tell you a quick little story. I'll never forget it. Chief Bruce, he went back to Martin Falls, and he was having a Christmas party. And he said, Premier, can you call in? So I called in and thanked everyone. But what stood out, Chief Bruce, was the youth. The youth that were so happy that we're building a road, that they have an opportunity, not just to stay within the community, always support the community, but have other opportunities right around Ontario, bringing opportunities as simple as a community center, a new hockey arena, or learning a trade or a skill, bringing healthcare to the community, having access, flying access, building new airports, no matter if it's up in Webequay or Martin Falls or Aeroland, right across Ontario, until everyone has access to come and go. And we couldn't, I'm going to say it again, we could not do this without your leadership. And Chief Lorraine, she was newly elected, and I have all the confidence in the world in you, Chief, and your whole team. When it comes to our plan to protect Ontario, the front lines in our fight to build more competitive economy are found on mining sites across Ontario. Ontario's mining sector contributes more than $14 billion to our province's economy, supporting over 75,000 good-paying jobs. from electric vehicles to advanced manufacturing to artificial intelligence and military technology. Mining sector is critical to Ontario and Canada's economic future. Together, we're realizing its full potential. We're investing $500 million, $500 million, to create the Critical Minerals Processing Fund and strengthen Made in Ontario critical mineral supply chains. We've launched the One Project, One Process to cut government approval timelines for new mining projects in half. And we've signed a transformational cooperation agreement with the federal government to eliminate duplicative impact assessments, including from mining projects and the infrastructure needed to support them. By cutting red tape and streamlining approvals, Ontario has created the stability, transparency, the predictability that global investors are looking for right here today. The world is noticing. Last week, the Fraser Institute ranked Ontario as the most attractive jurisdiction in Canada for mining investment. In fact, and again, thanks to our friends in the First Nations, they made that happen. In fact, Ontario ranks second in the world, only behind Nevada. Folks, we will be number one in the world the next time they take this survey out there, and we will be leading the world. We'll be blazing a new trail for every person in Ontario. I'm enormously proud of our team for the accomplishments and our partners who helped make this happen. As sure as I'm standing here, we won't stop working until we're number one, because there's so much promise in realizing the economic potential of Ontario's mining sector, and nothing's more promising than the Ring of Fire, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to create more than 70,000 jobs, make Ontario a critical mineral superpower, and add $22 billion to our province's economy. With President Trump's tariffs causing so much uncertainty, we don't have a second to waste. It's why today our government is releasing an accelerated schedule to finish construction and start opening the roads to the Ring of Fire in 2030, 5 full years ahead of schedule, with construction set to begin this June. Folks, I'm not happy with the 5 years. Let's even accelerate it more. The quicker we do it, the more opportunities that come and more economic development for our friends in the First Nations and everyone else in the province. I want to be clear, this accelerated schedule is a baseline. We won't rest until we've taken every single last day, every second, every week, and month out of the plan to open these roads as quickly as we can. Seizing this opportunity would not be possible without our Indigenous partners that I've mentioned many, many times, but I'll continue to mention them every single time I get in front of a microphone, because again, this would not happen without your support, and we'll never forget that. Which is why today I'm thrilled to announce the signing of a new joint statement of economic partnership with Martin Falls, Webequie First Nations, including equity opportunities through the Indigenous Opportunities Financing Program to support the building and operation of an aerodrome. And I said an aerodrome when they said that to me. It's a runway. And so they're using these fancy words. They're building a new airport. So anyways, accommodations and aggregate businesses. Our agreement also includes $2.5 million of investment to support local economic activities and ensure both communities get the training and the support they need to benefit from this historic opportunities in the Ring of Fire. I saw pictures of excavators up there, up in Webequie, you know, those big green excavators. I can't name the name, but I told those folks, by the way, you aren't getting those back. Leave them up there because we're going to be building nonstop. I want to thank Chief Bruce, Chief Lorraine, and Councillor Baxter, Michael Fox, and the whole team here and their leadership, helping us reach these agreements to lay the foundation for lasting prosperity for their communities and across Ontario. Friends, we're at a turning point for Ontario's mining sector. Working together, we're going to unleash the full and awesome potential of our mining sector. We're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs, high-paying jobs. We're going to add hundreds of billions of dollars to our economy. Working together, we're going to make Ontario the most competitive, most resilient, and the most self-reliant economy in the entire G7. I want to thank everyone. It's a record crowd, they told me. Thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much. My voice was going on.
All right. So there you have it. Don't forget to leave your comments. Thank you for joining us this morning. Like, follow, and subscribe. We'll be back.